Okay, Mr. Peter, what you got going on here is, if you look in that area right here, you have a little valley. Water's coming down, it sits in that valley, and then it goes in between your lines here and into the next shingle line, wherever the shingle line starts on the 3-foot mark, because they're 3 feet long. And the next thing you have is when you redid around your skylights, he never went under with any shingles. So this shingle went right over the top. So anything that goes here goes underneath these shingles, and when it goes under here, it just leaks terrible inside your roof area. But that little gully right there will create leaks, and if you notice, you have it all the way down through there. It's just a gully all the way down through that area right here. And also have the same thing going on back here. You have gullies and valleys that should be actually leaking right in this area also. Even though it might not be coming through the side, it should be. Yeah, right there, right there. So what really needs to be done is, this side should be tore off. I think we could probably repair them skylights and make them not leak if we just had done it properly. Although I don't know what kind of condition they're in under that thing. If they're stuck to the roof too bad, a good possibility we have to replace them skylights. And you can see up here you have just bumps, and you have bumps and dips, and you have a lot of stuff going on in this roof. I think personally that you might have a little bit of life left in your front shingles, even though they're starting to curl. You might decide that you want to get them done eventually, but I believe that you could probably wait on this side. But since you're having such a situation on this side, and the shingles were, if you look at the lines, they're installed totally incorrect. See the line, see how close that line is right there, right here, and you got another line right here. They're just not installed properly, whereas they should be more like this and like this, and then back over to this, and you don't have that down here. Among the valleys that you have down here, obviously the water is coming through your skylights here and going under the shingles, and then of course pouring in here. So that's what you got going on. I think you're fine down here. I did a pretty good job there, but this part from over there to over there, I'd probably recommend, since it's already been tied into improperly. They didn't do anything right here. It looks like you got these shingles put right over the top of, and they did. They didn't tear anything off, so they're right over the top of these, which basically ruined anything below them. So this part here, this complete side needs to at least be ripped off and replaced. All right, we're back down here at Deer Trot Road. Supply. Shingles are finished. We just didn't have the skylights. Wasn't sure they were going to be replaced, but they were in such bad shape. Didn't leave us much choice. We're going to install a couple VELUX in here. This skylight here was leaking for quite some time. Had one of the little old school bubble mounts on it. I got a VELUX. First thing you want to do is build a little box around it. The measurements come with the paperwork, so you just cut at the measurements. And then sometimes when you got these skylights put in these mobile homes, they got cathedral ceiling, they got a little angle to both sides. So on the inside, you can add to it if you want to, anything you want, trim it out that way, and whatever. So I got white wood, so it would need to be painted. It needs to paint anyways here. So what I like doing is running them nice and flush right here, and putting a 1x4 right along this side and right along that side. Buy a kit to go with this, or you can make your own, and I always make my own. They're pretty proud of them kits for $75 or something. I don't know what the hell they are. They're pretty expensive, and it's just as easy for me to make my own. So you got to step flash every shingle all the way up through there, make your bottom piece, step your flash, and I always like to have a lot hanging out down here at the bottom. I just don't like any wind blowing up under my shingle. And step flash, shingle, step flashing, shingle, step flashing, all the way up through there, just like I'm getting ready to do here. So I got my first piece run up there, then I'm going to run this down here over here like that, cut it around so it covers that whole corner. Then it'll be shingle, step flashing all the way up. Now I cut my first piece like this. This is the top side. This is the front side. And the reason why I do that, and then also right here you want to caulk that inside corner right there, because the reason why there's a gap right there is because I've cut it about a 1/4 inch past so that I have something to wrap that corner with. So I wrapped that corner with a metal, and then this piece of metal right here, which is the first piece of step flashing, is going to have that same wrap. See, so it wraps over the top of that like that. And that's the reason for that caulking, because that way you don't have that little pinhole right there. That will be a leak if you don't do that. The other thing is I make my flashing 8 by 8. You got a 3.5 inch 2x4, so you have to go to the top of that 2x4, but you don't want to go past it because it'll cut your flange. And then the rest of it you use on the flat down here. When you're installing your flashing, you want to make sure that you stay above that tar line on your shingles. Let me see if I can find another shingle here. Alright, and that's what I'm talking about for a tar line, is right there. That's the tar line. The reason why you stay above that tar line is so that when this shingle gets put on here, it gets put on and it has something to stick to right there. Alright, glad to say we have 2 V-Lux Skylights installed in this double wide mobile home. We made our own flashing kit. I've made enough of them, so the most important thing is that you caulk all your corners so you don't have any little nail holes or pin holes, and make the frame exactly the size that they say on the package so that you can easily get your flashing around it. And then when you set this thing down over the top of it, you center it all up in there, you know, as close as you can on them sides there, and then put your screws in the flange until it touches. Have somebody holding down, pushing down on it while it gets screwed, and only until it touches so you don't overturn your screws. They go right there in the sides. We're done. Appreciate your help, Thomas.
Yes, sir.